Wait for it. As the John said to the hooker, you're taking it all. But I didn't give you all 30 seconds.
Well, it's going to fit.
Hey,
everybody. Good evening. Once again, we're back with Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast. I'm Ron here from Las Vegas, and always I have.
I'm Mike from Amarillo. And
as Mike always says, we are brothers. Yeah.
Brothers.
At heart and at soul. So, hey, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving holiday last weekend and had a lot to be thankful for. Mike and I were just talking offline and talking about some of the things that we have to be grateful for, and none more important than our family and our friends. So we appreciate all of you, love all of you, and look forward to continuing this thing we got going on.
And by the way, may I compliment you on your ability to read, because apparently you did get the memo for please wear a red top.
Red hat and glasses. No, red shirt and glasses. Yeah, whatever. So, hey, speaking of hats, my son got me this hat for my birthday. Can you guess what it means?
Well, I can guess, but I'm going to be right. So,
are you shitting me? Yeah. So the funny story is when he gave it to me, he says, "What was it?" I said, "What does that mean, Ronnie?" I said, "What is it? Are you a sorry mother?" He's like, "No, it's Are You Shitting Me?" I'm like, "Oh my God." So me and my infinite wisdom, I send a picture to my brother Mike, and he goes, "Yeah, took me a couple of minutes, but I finally figured out what it was."
I didn't want to admit to the fact I couldn't figure out what the hell.
We are not the smartest.
What the hell is it? And then it dawned on me, oh, are you shitting me? Oh, all right. So
yeah,
my apologies to my nephew.
Are you shitting me?
I wanted to think Uncle Mike knows what the hell he's doing. Apparently I don't. I just have moments.
So look, we didn't really have a topic today. So Mike and I decided we're just going to kind of riff this conversation, and I kind of get the feeling we might have a little of a heart-to-heart, in-depth kind of conversation here in a minute. But I want to start off with something a little bit funny, because in the past we've talked about technology, we've talked about gifts and holidays and stuff. So I kind of get the idea it's all going to get thrown in today. So prime example today. Now, mind you, those don't know, I have a construction and handyman business. So this time of year, we're doing a ton of Christmas lights. So we're out on a job site putting up Christmas lights, and I had to go to the store, but I have a company van with a trailer attached to it. I'm like, I don't want to drive it all the way to Lowe's to pick up some crap. So I asked one of my guys, I'm like, hey man, let me borrow your car so I can run to the store real quick. So I get down there, first off, I felt like I had a contact high when I opened the damn door of his car. And then I got in the car and I get to Lowe's and I get whatever I need. I get back in the car and I put it in reverse. And the first thing I did, Mike, was I went and I looked at the dashboard to see where the reverse camera was. There wasn't one there. So I look up to the rear view mirror to see if there's a reverse camera. Not one there. I was freaking lost. Like, how the hell do I back up a car without a backup camera? I'm looking this mirror. I'm looking that mirror. I'm looking up here. I got about 2 inches backed up. I'm doing this number. Behind. So we've become.
I know how you feel. Well, I had the same
dependent.
thing. Kind of the same thing. It's one of my both my delivery vans. Neither one of them had a backup camera. So anytime I got into it, and one didn't even have back windows.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, I feel your pain. What's funny is I'm driving Carolyn's car right now, and her backup thing, her camera's in the dash. But when I get in her car, I still look up in the mirror, because in the truck that's where mine was. So I'm
in my van it's in the mirror.
I feel your pain, because I'm thinking, how in the hell do we drive without backup cameras?
So I'm glad it's not just me.
And to add a little bit to it, not just backup cameras, but without sensors. Carolyn has backup
sensors.
Camera.
Oh yeah.
Beep, 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 exactly. How that's sort of ruined us, I guess. But that's a great point. How did we drive back in the day without having back or
Mike, you remember the Mustang that Mom had?
Yeah.
Do you remember putting the third eye light in that car?
I think I put it in my Escort too.
Yeah, but now look at what's happened. You can't buy a car today without at least a third eye brake light, at least, if not more. And so
back around 80, back around 80, it seemed like 82, 83.
Yeah.
Yeah. You bought them. You can go to like Checker Automotive or somewhere and buy them in kits and install them yourself. Sure. So I think it's after the popularity of those is when those really started to come around. It's funny because now we're watching old episodes of The Price is Right. And it's funny as hell because you can just before we came in here, I was watching one and the prize was a 72 Chevy Vega station wagon. And when they described oh no, check this out, dude. So when they described it, they're listing options and it lists cigarette lighter and ashtray as available options.
Now you can't buy a car with one.
Now you can't. And that only recently hit me that new cars today don't have ashtrays or lighters.
So look, I want to hit up our cousin Matt. Just popped in. Matt, by all means, embellish. Matter of fact, if you have Mike's email or text him your email address or me your email address. I'd love to get you on here and talk about that very comment when Matt said we got in an accident in that Mustang. I think I must have been, what were we, Matt? Maybe 15, 16 years old, maybe when this happened. We're coming up, man, I want to say it was a Academy Boulevard, I think maybe. And it was like a 3-car rear end. So this car got hit, then our car got hit, and Mom was driving. And man, I wish Matt was on here to tell the story because he tells it so much better than I do. I used to have quite a temper when I was younger. And I guess I was about that. So correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but I think I had a lollipop in my mouth. So I got out of the car and I chucked the lollipop at the car behind me. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. I don't know if is anybody hurt. Is everybody okay? Oh, it was Academy. Yeah. Driving up Academy Boulevard. Yeah. So if we had that damn third eye.
Oh, you're right. Wow. Oh wait, I can't. Why I have my camera set up tonight? I got to look around it. Temper when you were younger. Well, maybe. It sort of ran, I'm not sure why, but it sort of ran in the blood.
Yeah. Both sides of the family.
Well, I will tell you that for us, Ron and I, Daddy's big thing, and you can correct me if you weren't told the same thing, was pretty much, and I don't know if this happened in this accident, but if you start something, you better finish it. If somebody else starts something, you better finish it. So it was sort of incumbent on us to, take care of it. But he never told us to take a fucking sucker out of your mouth and throw it at the car behind you. I don't remember that conversation.
Yeah, like I said, Matt tells a lot better because he was in the car with us, and I had totally forgot about it until he had mentioned it. I think it was on one of our previous podcasts, to tell you the truth, or maybe he and I were talking about it. But it made me laugh because it was one of those things I just had totally forgotten about. Now, mind you, I'm 55 years old, so this was 40 years ago, 35, 40 years ago.
I thought you were going to say it was like 3 weeks ago. What?
Yeah. That's just because of the hat. See if I take it off. There you go. Just added 10 years right there. Yeah, Ron's right. I mean, those back then, those were the amenities. Backseat ashtrays, with a 8-track cassette tape.
Hey, listen, the first truly brand new car Carolyn and I got, I think I've told you this before, was actually sold to me by Rich Carlos because he was working at Phil Long Ford at the time. And it was a base model Ford Escort. I think it was an 82 Ford Escort. And when I say base model, had nothing in it. Now, here's the caveat, and I know she's watching and she hates when I bring this up. I had already started to purchase a Monte Carlo Super Sport from Williams Chevrolet, and it's everything I wanted. And so she sort of talked me into, and I think my father-in-law may have done the same thing. Hey, before you do that, let's go do some looking around. And so we landed on this Escort, and here's the wonky part. The fucking thing had a flat tire, so they had to air the tire up for us to be able to test drive it. And we ended up buying it, and man, it had nothing. I think I put the radio in it. And it had a vinyl interior.
How'd that work out for you?
It was, the jams weren't all that good.
Was it the 4-speed?
It was actually a standard, yes. It's the standard. Carolyn can, if she's watching, it's the standard I taught her to drive in.
But you know what's funny, Mike, is even like with the cigarette lighter, shut up, Mike. Like with the cigarette lighter and the ashtray and stuff like that, you're hard pressed to find a standard car nowadays. They just don't exist.
Do you think it's because of the drivability? Do you think it's because people just don't know how to drive standards? Because you and I learned in a standard. We both got,
and that was, and we talked about before, the way we learned. Yeah, the way we learned was brutal. But I'll never hear the end of it. Right, Carolyn? I told him not to tell this story, Carolyn.
Well, for years, every time I'd see a Super Sport, she'd get this sound.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah. Well, how many times have I heard that in my life? But no,
I think my since we're going on with cars, speaking of the accident in the Mustang, that accident, the money that we got from being rear-ended actually purchased my first car, which was a 1984 hatchback 4-cylinder turbocharged Mustang. I don't know if you remember that one or not, Mike. I think you and Carolyn were just kind of dating it. I don't think you were married yet, but yeah, I love that car. That's the car that we had in the driveway when we lived on Kingsley, and Dad was helping me change the brakes on it. And I'm sitting outside, and I thought Dad was under the car, and the jack stand fell loose and bam, hit the ground. I'm just like, oh my God, the car just killed Dad. He comes out of the garage. What are you doing, boy? Get that car back up on the jack stands.
I'm smarter than that.
Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, the irony in that is I never realized. The irony is I never realized that the accident in the Mustang actually bought me a Mustang.
Well, yeah, I kind of get that one. I mean, I've had some things in my life. I won't go into deep, but because it involved family. But the spleen, yeah, it hurt. It cost me, but I got a few things out of it. I don't know if anybody. I can't tell who's there, so I'm just clicking as we go up. Roll up the windows.
Roll the power windows.
Right. Yeah. What about wing windows? No, nobody knows.
Yeah, little vent windows.
Yeah, little wing windows. Like, what the hell are you talking about? My first real car was the '69 El Camino, and that's the one I go back to. That's probably the 2 or 3 that, if I could go back, it's one I'd like to have back. Was the '69 El Camino. I think I got sort of bamboozled in losing that one, but again, I may or may not have been stoned at the time. So anyway, if you're there tonight, we're just sort of making it up. We're riffing. We're making it up as we go along.
Matt, how come I didn't get a penny from that wreck?
Damn, right?
You got
way to go, bro.
You got the joy of watching. You get the joy of watching. You get to learn.
I don't think, you know what? Reparations. Matt needs needs repayment for that pain and suffering.
That's what he needs. So I want to tell a story. When you say standard, is that manual? Yes, that is manual, not automatic.
You have to know.
Nowadays everything's automatic, and you can jumpstart your car off your phone half the time. So
can you? Because my battery's.
Who's got an iPad?
I'm not kidding. My battery's dead.
Yeah. So look, I want to, Mike and I were talking before we got on live here, and he and I have both been through some trials and tribulations as of late. We won't really dive into it a whole lot, but look, I don't want to get too deep with this, but always remember one thing: when you feel like you're going through the fire, just think of it as God's way of burning off all the crap in your life. Because trust me, this is a season. This is something that will get past, and it's something that we'll all get past together.
That's, God bless you, little brother. And I will give you credit. I was having kind of a down day the other day, and Ronnie and I were talking, and he said to me, basically, you can either, and I think it had to do with a book you were telling me about, but it had to do with invent or reinvent. I can either, try to invent something new or reinvent. And occasionally the little bro says things I don't think you realize, but it stays with me. And that one really stuck with me. And so, yeah, you're right. Are we going through trials and tribulations? I know what you've been in the last what you've been through in the last few weeks. You know what I've been through in the last year, and I'm, it just keeps getting more and more exciting every day. But here's what I know. It's like this morning. I just told you the battery in the car was dead. So I got up this morning. It's rainy and snowy and cold here today. So I thought, oh crap, before it gets here, I better go out and split some wood. So I split some wood, got ready for tonight. Then I started to head to the radio station. Battery's dead. And I thought, you know what, God, I'm privileged and blessed that I only live about 2.5 blocks away from the station. I'll walk it. So I start walking, and it starts to sprinkle just a little bit. I thought, you know what, God, no big deal. I can do this. Within a block of the station, I kid you not, it starts pouring. I mean,
it's like, here, hold pouring, man. Beer, Mike.
So I'm thinking, you know what, God, I got this, dude. I'm privileged and blessed that I'm this close to the radio station. But those are in those moments. Here's what I came to understand. When I pray every morning, I say, God, don't let me miss an opportunity. Let me stay focused on you. And so where this morning I might have had a little downtime, maybe sort of feeling sorry for myself, I think this is his way of saying, suck it up, Buttercup. Yeah. Better things are coming. Amen. And then your day just kind of gets better. So there you go. There's the sermon for tonight. I don't want to get much more than that. And I have to tell you.
Well, go ahead.
No, share what you got, because I'm going to get off track here. I'm going to get off base.
No, I'd say the one thing I tell Mike all the time is the one thing my wife always tells me, man, don't try to steer the river.
Yeah, and I love that one.
If you're in it, you go the way the river's flowing, man. Don't try to fight it, because you are not in control, man. You're there for the ride, and you make sure you hit all the turns. And like you said, Mike, don't miss any of the opportunities. So we're going to end on that, and go ahead and say what you got, man.
All right. So not long ago, you and I were talking about, sounds that conjure up memories. I told you, like, the spoon hitting the countertop reminds me of being at Grandpa and Grandma's house. So one of the groups I belong to in social media, I think it might be growing up in the 60s, 70s group. And anyway, somebody posted a picture of a gas card receipt, while they were in Amarillo, and they got, I don't know how many gallons it was, but it was like $3 and some change. And so this person just wrote, he said, hey, look, my dad was in Amarillo. Gas was like, 22 cents a gallon. And, but what he posted was a credit card receipt, and I'm about to give it away. I made a comment. I don't comment very often, but this one caught my attention. And I said, and they were using the old school credit card machine. I can still hear the sound. Exactly. Yeah. So I put, I can still hear the sound. I bet 45 people have made comment on that comment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they say, I forgot. I remember that sound. But right now, are you not playing that sound in your head?
Like a freaking repetitive right now. So thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, great.
But it's just, I thought, that's so wonderful. And judging by the response to my stupid comment, clearly that's, what a great memory for people, but again, a memory that's not going to be there, that once you and I sort of fade off in the sunset, that's going to go away. They'll be able to post that
It's all
picture
gonna
and
be
say,
gone.
I still hear that sound. And somebody's going to say, well, what the hell are you talking about? That thing's not making any sound. You had to be there.
I mean, it's almost like, Mike, not even necessarily just sounds, but physical things. Like when you and I were kids and all of us were kids that were our age, and I went like this, what did that mean?
Give me a call. Call me.
Give me a call. What do you think they do today? They go like
Text.
this. No, they go like this. They hold their whole hand.
I don't even know then. I run with old people.
They don't
you still do this.
They don't understand what this is. Yeah, they don't understand what this is. They didn't know to have the mouthpiece and the earpiece went like this on your face. All they know is this one big thing that goes to your face. So they go like this. Hey, call me, And it's just it's stuff like that I'm just like, I was listening to the radio the other day, SOS radio, as a matter of fact, and they were talking about how what are today's day and age's kids called? Millennials? Is that where we're at now?
I don't even know. No, it's not millennials.
So the newer batch.
Yeah.
So they were talking about how the question was posed, how they determine when you're old, what's considered to be old. And you know what the number one answer, number one response from them was?
40.
No. What you do, things that you do that kids these age determine you're old. It's scrolling with your finger.
Really?
If you still use your finger to do it. And so one of the kids that works for me is like 20 years old. And I asked him, I'm like, his name's Mike. I'm like, Mike, is that true? He goes, oh yeah, nobody uses their fingers anymore. Everybody uses their thumbs. And I'm like, I never in a million years would have guessed that.
Ever. Wow. I didn't know this. Well, see now, okay.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Matt. Gen Z.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. There's too many things changing. I try to be hip and cool with everything, but dude, that ship sailed a long time ago.
Yeah, but and I'm trying to be careful here because I know we don't want to talk politics and that kind of stuff, but I did a show last week, the 22nd, which was the 60th anniversary of the assassination of JFK. And during my show, I played snippets of JFK's inaugural speech, right? And during the show, I had asked the question, do you think immediate generations, let's say Gen Z moving forward, will this date, November 22nd, and the Kennedy assassination, do you think it's going to be remembered moving forward? And the general consensus was no. It's going to get lost to history. And so will, and you ready for this? December 7th, 1941, the attack on Pearl Harbor. And I kind of understand it to a point because it's just going to fade into history because what's happening today and maybe something we haven't even reached yet, or in the Middle East or whatever, become their Kennedy assassination and their Pearl Harbor.
Well, it's no pun intended, but it's our history becomes history, which creates new history for the future kids ahead of us. I'm old because I use Matt. We're not talking about that, buddy.
I was going to say you were talking about your phone.
And go ahead and shoot yourself in the foot.
Need a little alone time, Matt? Okay, we got you.
It was cold in Fargo.
That's all good, Kenny. I could have used Kenny a few nights ago. Actually,
fixing furnaces.
Does Kenny do water heaters?
I'm sure he probably does.
Maybe I could have had him come down here, had a water heater go out.
Yeah. The new sound is tap. Please remove your card. Oh yeah. Exactly. Point in hand, Ron. It's everything nowadays is all digital. So you either you pay with your phone or your Google Pay or whatever. Whereas before, the cool thing before then was tap your card on there. Before that, it was insert your card, and then it's a daily change, man. It's just so hard to keep up with stuff. In third grade, I visited Pearl Harbor. I can't explain how I'm having
I think it's supposed to
how
be
it impacted me. Yeah, it impacted me. But yeah, but the thing is, Michelle, and I agree, man. I would love to go see something like that. But I think Mike has a good point that today's events and today's things that happen today are going to be their history when they're our age. And our history, our history is going to be just that. It's just going to be ancient history. I mean, stuff that, because the things that happened back in like in the beginning of times and BC and stuff, that's all very memorable stuff because it kind of defined where we're at and the cultures that we live in. And I hate to say it, and don't take it the wrong way, but a lot of the stuff that we have as history isn't the same magnitude as what's ancient history.
I think it's a great point, little brother. It's what was impactful and important to us. That definition may change.
Sure.
For this generation and moving generations ahead. But it is kind of sad when you think about it. I mean, I even told people last week, look, Kennedy's been gone for 60 years. He was only 46 years old when he was killed. So he's been gone way longer than he was alive. And yet for some of us, it's still, I did tour Dealey Plaza. I've been there a few times, but the first time I toured it, I got to go to the 6th floor museum. It's fascinating as hell. They actually have X's on the street to mark each bullet strike. And
wow.
So that was the other question I asked is, okay, at what point does that become offensive? And they just pull those X's up. I'm shocked, truly, that nobody has done that yet. But that's
yeah. Don't start that fight because that's just going to piss me off. I mean, there's hey Daniel, it's my cousin Daniel Tafoya. How you doing, brother?
You doing, man?
But I'm going to tell you a quick story, Mike, because I think I told it before. I'm going to tell it again. So if you heard it, just shut up and listen again.
You're 55. You're allowed to, dude. You can tell the story fucking times. I'll act like it's the first time I heard it.
Huh? I'm going to tickle my ass with a feather. What? No, I said we're having typically nice weather. So people people try to understanding how we've become to know the things we know and to have the habits that we have. So here's my story. So mom's cooking the Thanksgiving dinner and they're cooking the turkey and the mom says to the daughter, hey daughter, go get the pan out and cut both sides of the ham off and put it in the pan. So the daughter says, well, mom, why do we cut both sides of the ham off? And the mom's like, well, that's just how we always done it. She's like, why? He says, well, you know what? Grandma's alive. Let's call grandma and ask her. So they call grandma and the granddaughter says, grandma, why do we cut both sides of the ham off for Thanksgiving dinner? And the grandma says, well, that's just the way it's done. And the grandkid again, well, why? And grandma says, well, you know what? Great grandma happens to be alive. So let's call and ask her. So they call great grandma and she's like, 97 years old. They're like, yeah, great grandma, why do we cut both ends of the ham off before we put it in the pan? She's like, well, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a pan big enough.
But we laugh. We laugh.
But that's how things happen in life. That's how what you think is gospel, the things that for truth or fact in life may not be what they really are. It's just what you've been taught over the years.
Right. Sometimes you have to research and learn that logic or the truth for yourself. Or just question. Look, it's kind of a similar story, and I don't know if I've shared this one, and I know we're getting up against it, but Grandma Shoemaker. We were at her house one day, and where they lived in Stratton or in Myron Stratton home.
Myron Stratton.
There were just boatload, just tons of magpies. And if you don't know what a magpie is, it's a big squawky bird. And so I was outside, throwing pine cones or something at him, and Grandma kind of got mad at me. And she said, why do you want to hurt that bird? I said, I'm not trying to. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to hit one. And she said, no, you know what you need to do? And she handed me a salt shaker. She said, if you put salt on their tail, they can't fly. Really? So I am sure everybody in the house was probably laughing their ass off. trying to, and it took me, and here's what's really bad about this story. It took me years before.
So, it gets worse?
Before I understood. Well, here's the thing. It took me years before I understood, wait a minute. If I'm that close to put salt on the fucking tail, just grab the damn bird. You can just catch it.
Hey,
so
Mike, you want to go snipe hunting?
I caught one last night. And it was an actual snipe. No, but it did. It took me years to figure that out. If you're close enough to the bird to put salt on the tail, just grab the stupid thing. But I'm real sure that day that I was probably getting a lot of laughs without knowing it. And it was long before my attempts to be a comedian. We we run over every week. Sorry, Kenny.
Shut up,
didn't know you had us on a clock.
Mouth.
So Kenny's the one that came in late and said, "I'm sorry, I was working. I was trying to earn a living." It's all cool, Kenny. You want us to leave?
So Mike, you said something a little while ago about researching and finding out for yourself, and that saying, and you can ask any of my kids. It has been my standard saying to them since they were young. The term is called responsible consumption. Don't read one or two things, but if you want to know something, don't read one or two things about it. Read 15 or 20 or 30 things about it, and then make an educated decision on it. Because if not, there's another term I use. It's called be the source of the source and not the source. So if somebody asks you a question, you cite wherever you get the information from. Say, well, according to this and according to that and according to this, here's what I've determined. Because if not, then you're trying to be the source of that information. And a lot of times you're just going to be wrong.
I get people that ask all the time, how do you, put your shows together? Not this one, but my radio show. And I said, look, here's what I do. I prep for it constantly. I read, I'm consuming as much as I can, but I have about 15 different sources that I use. And then I do what I like to go ahead and glean what I believe is fact and reality. And that's what I share. And I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just trying to get you to think about something. And so that's why, the MLI show is Making Sense with Michael J. I'm not trying to tell you how to think. I'm not stuffing anything down your gullet. I'm trying to get you to open your damn mind and think for yourself and, stop repeating other people's trials. So there you go. There's
Amen.
My sermon for you. So
Amen.
What do you want to do next time, little bro? Riffing was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, but before we get there, I do want to say one thing. I know we've kind of gotten off our normal track here a bit today, but in the holiday times and what life is dealing everybody, whatever he's going through, man, just if you ever feel down, you ever feel depressed or defeated, trust me, there's people out there that got your back, that are there for you. I know I'm one. I know Mike is one. I can guarantee everybody that you see on here is one of those. So don't ever feel ashamed or afraid to reach out if you need to talk to somebody or if you just need somebody to listen to you.
Amen, brother. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you.
So, I tell you what, man, I know we've done this before, but let's do it again, man. You folks that are listening out there, give us a few ideas. Let's hear what you would like to talk about, topics of conversation that maybe you have. And I agree with Mike. I'm the same way, man. All week long, I'm just shit happens during the day that I'm like, oh God, I got to talk about this. It's going to be fun. I mean, to the point to where, Mike, I love it when you tell me, and I know we're over, but whatever. When you're like, you do a legit radio show and it has to do with politics and current events and things that are going on in Amarillo. And it cracks me up when you say, yeah, so today I mentioned, Pop-Tart flavors, and all of a sudden my freaking phone's just lit up. It's just the dumbest shit. Because let's face it, man, dumb shit is more fun than real life.
You have to keep in mind my show. Today I had Texas State Representative John Smithy on with me. I've interviewed Ronnie Jackson, Governor Abbott, Ted Cruz. I get them all. And so that's kind of, and I also focus locally in Amarillo. But it just kills me whenever I throw, and you're right, dude. When I did the Pop-Tart thing, the phone just lit up. I thought, are you shitting me? Man,
Are you shitting me?
There you go. I bring you Governor Abbott. I bring you Ted Cruz. I bring you Congressman Jackson. I talk about local politics, but let me ask, about Pop-Tart flavors, and the phone goes nuts. Man, and I'm not
talking about striking a nerve.
That is, so far as the phone, that's probably the most active show I've done with the phone.
Your production manager like, what the hell are you talking about in there? He's like, my fucking brother brought up Pop-Tarts.
Bring us back to Pop-Tarts. When do we get to talk about Kool-Aid?
Oh shit. All right. Well, hey man, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. I don't hate to say it. I'm going to be glad I said this. I missed being here last week. I really did. These nights and just chit chatting with you and our friends on here are just such a blessing to me. And I hope we can get some more people on. So tell other folks and share it. I don't know, Mike. What do you think? I mean, all you other guys too. What do you think? Should we change it to a different day? Because there was like, I was watching football. So
that's a good question.
Maybe a different day might work out. So.
Well, just let us know what day, whether you're watching right now or those that will, and we do get people that watch afterwards. Just drop a line, let us open. But tonight it's the Cowboys in Seattle, so clearly I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the Cowboys anyway. My two favorite teams are Denver and anybody that plays Dallas.
And mine is Denver and anybody that plays the Raiders.
Oh my. Hey, before I let you go, I've been wanting to tell you this. That what is it called? The Sphere?
Yeah.
I have got to come see that thing.
You want to know the thing I hate most about the Sphere?
What?
It takes up 1,500 homes of electricity to run that damn thing.
Does it really? Holy crap.
But I can't lie. It's just stupid cool. We haven't actually been down to it, but we were driving home from Ron Jr.'s house last week and we kind of glimpse of it. It does some stupid stuff, man. So
I just want to see it.
Well, you know where I live.
I know. We'll fly out there.
All right, guys. Mike, love you. Thank you so much again. And we will see all of you guys next week, and we'll see if we maybe give a different day, different time.
Sounds good. Love you all.
All right, we'll talk to you.